Well, let's continue giving more reaction or getting more reaction to the new top 7 of the ANC as announced this morning by the African National Congress at its 55th National Conference. And we're joined now once again by Sthembiso Sithole, who is, of course, the social media specialist here at SABC News. Let's talk firstly about the mood going into plenary, what we've seen coming out of it. I mean, just electrical images coming out of that plenary as those announcements were made as well.
It's really interesting that those announcements took place just before we had went there. Remember that there was that prediction that President Ramaphosa will really emerge and be elected as the party's president. We went there inside, as you saw on the social media platforms. You've been posting those videos. The former President Jacob Zuma was also there. The reaction from President Ramaphosa as he was then asked, to come back in the plenary, in that stage, the excitement in his eyes, the joy, and also Fikile Mbalula and the likes, and that on its own, and really, then of course, one would say is bringing a new dawn, in terms of this new leadership. As you'll remember, that this is literally some of those leaders there have never been in that top 7.
Yeah, and let's talk about some of the reactions that you have seen on social media. Some prominent names that we have seen before, one of them being Lukhona Mnguni.
Yes, Lukhona Mnguni has been consistent in his views, and like other political commentators in between. But then what was interesting from him, as you can see on our social media account, on the screen, was that he was saying it's very interesting that what would be interesting to look into is Fikile Mbalula and Nomvula Mokwenyana in terms of how they will be working together. And then of course, he's saying, Cyril won this, but what would be interesting is to look into it. But at the same time, also reflecting to Stan Matabate that, he's saying he took a risk and he fell for that.
Yeah. There's a tweet there by Fikile Mbalula, who is now the Secretary General of the party. But before that, let's talk about some of what we're hearing from the public, particularly from Rian.
Yes. So Rian was saying, we are behind you, President Ramaphosa. We support you and we congratulate you. That's a tweet that was there in between sent from the public. And then going back to Fikile Mbalula, what's very interesting about that is that he changed his Twitter handle immediately. In terms of Twitter bio, putting it to say he's the Secretary of the ANC.
There it is. Fikile Mbalula, ANC SG. Thank you to ANC delegates at the National Conference. Sure.
Yeah, that was quick, it was quick, the bio had to be put together. But then again, we know that Mudibe is also someone who's vocal on social media. He has been consistent during the conference, sharing his views, and his reflection is questioning KZN to say KZN is a majority. Has many numbers there, but this time around, they were not able to have one of their people in terms of someone from KZN to be part of this top 7. And then he just ended this tweet by saying, anyway, well done to President Ramaphosa. Yeah. We know his views when it comes to the president.
Yeah, Mudibe very vocal on social media. And it is an interesting thing that, we had an analyst, Professor Lisiba Tefo, noting it as well, that, well, hold on a second, we don't have any representation of KwaZulu-Natal in that top 7, something that certainly is, I'm sure is going to be quite a long discussion moving forward. The Deputy President of the African National Congress has tweeted as well. Similar
like Fikile Mbalula, he changed his Twitter bio immediately after the announcement. The results were announced. It's clear he's the Deputy President of the ANC, and the tweet that will be pulling out on our screen is thanking his people for supporting him. Those are the branches, those are the delegates, and we'll start seeing his Twitter account being active, because it was not that much active, but you can tell that he's then now starting to then be visible on social media. Even the bio of his social media platform change, showing the top 6 in between the top 7.
And just last one, Tessa Dooms, a political analyst, having tweeted as well.
So the political analyst Tessa Bloom has also been vocal. Now, earlier on, she was explaining how important it was to have Paul Mashatile in between, and also, in her view, saying Paul Mashatile was key, and we look forward to then how they will be working together as this is a part of this top 7. And those are some of the sentiments in social media. I must say, when looking the topic trend is on Google, Paul Mashatile is popping in between.
Sure, very interesting. Sthembiso Sithole there, we call him Job, and I say it over and over again. He's our social media specialist, keeping a close eye on what the trends list is saying about the brand new top 7 of the ANC.